Good morning, third grade. This is Mrs. Miller. I miss you. I'm reporting to you at my house, and if you hear little pitter-patter of feet or a little voice in the background, that's my daughter, Joey. Her name's Joella. Her nickname is Joey. So if you're wondering what that is in the background, that's her. She's playing. Today, I'm going to talk to you about our new English standard. So you're getting this video on April 6th. So that is Monday. So that's tomorrow for me. And we're learning about literal and non-literal meanings. So I'm going to back up a slide and I'm going to give this presentation to you on Google Classroom. But I'm going to show you here right now. So topic. So I just told you the topic. It's literal and non-literal meaning. So before reading any of the other slides, I want you to stop this video and I want you to complete this slide. I want you to tell me what you know about those words, literal and non-literal. If you don't know a whole lot, that's okay. Just write what you know. And we've talked about this topic before briefly in class. So anything you can think of about this topic that we've learned in class or that you came across in your reading or that you know from personal experience, you can record here. Don't be too stressed out about this. You're not graded on what you know before the lesson. This is a way for you to help brainstorm about this topic before we get started. What do I want to know? So let's say you want to know what those words mean. Or if you want to know any kind of question, where would you read literal words, meanings, and where would you read non-literal meanings? Any kind of question you can come up with that you personally want to know, type that here. And then you're going to save this section, what did I learn, for later. So after I go through this slide, all these slides, this presentation, this mini lesson, you can come back and type in anything that Mrs. Miller said that you've learned. Okay? So let's get started. And hopefully each day you'll gain a little bit more knowledge about this topic. So we're going to get started. All right, so pause the video if you haven't already and finish this slide and turn it in. You will leave what did I learn. Don't turn it in yet. So you're going to finish what do I know, what do I want to know, watch this video, then finish what did I learn, then turn it in. Literal and non-literal meanings. So I'm going to start with the standard. The standard, third grade, is the skill, the specific skill that we're learning that you need to know before you go to fourth grade. So this standard is, will you be able to distinguish the literal and non-literal meanings of words and phrases in context? Whew, okay, so that's a lot. So let's break it down. Distinguish, what does that word mean? It means to tell apart. So let me give you the example of two twins. So twins look exactly alike. So let's say there's two twins. Would you be able to distinguish Meredith from Rebecca if those were the twins? Would you be able to tell which one is Rebecca and which one is Meredith? Here, you see the boy, and this is a symbolic reference, raining cats and dogs. Would you be able to tell me that that is a non-literal meaning for it's raining really hard, right? So can you tell apart what is literal? Did the author really want you to think that cats and dogs are falling from the sky? Or did the author want you to think of that phrase as raining really hard? Can you distinguish the difference? What is literal and non-literal? Now, those words again, literal. Literal means fact. That means what I'm telling you is what I mean. I'm not being symbolic. I'm not trying to be creative or colorful. The words I'm saying out of my mouth are the words I mean. So if I tell you that I am giving you a a piece of cake, I am giving you a piece of cake. That's exactly what I mean. There will be a piece of cake on a plate in front of you. Now, if I tell you something non-literal, like if I'm telling you it's going to be a piece of cake, I'm being symbolic. I'm being creative. I'm using colorful language. I'm telling you that it's going to be easy. I don't mean it to actually be a piece of cake. I mean that it's going to be easy. That's the difference. And here is a simile. Now, a simile is when you use like or as. So if I'm sleeping like a log, I'm saying that I'm sleeping really well. I don't want you to actually think that I am trying to imitate a log. I'm just using it as saying, hey, I slept really hard last night. I didn't wake up once. I slept really, really well. I must have been really tired. I slept like a log. Context. So can you tell apart fact from colorful language in a story? Or it could be context, could refer to a textbook. It could refer to a magazine. Anything that you're reading has the potential to contain literal and non-literal meanings, phrases. So it's our job as third graders to know what is literal and what is non-literal. Let's talk about those words more in depth. So literal, the way I like to describe it is the words mean exactly what it says. Non-literal, the words do not mean what it says. When I say that the test is a piece of cake, I do not mean the test is a piece of cake. I don't mean what the words say. I mean something that the words represent. And those words represent that the test is easy. But if I say, here is a piece of cake, I mean exactly what I say. Those words mean exactly what it says. It means that there is a piece of cake right there on the table for you, literally. So literal is the actual definition. Non-literal, not meant to be factual. It's just meant to represent something else. Literal, fact. Non-literal, it's figurative. Figurative means that it's symbolic. It represents something else. No room for interpretation. Literal, no room for interpretation. Meaning that you can't say that phrase means anything else than what I told you. And then non-literal, it's very creative. There's a different way to interpret what I'm saying. It's colorful. So grandma's garden is full of beautiful flowers is the example for literal. Grandma is literally having a garden, and it's literally full of beautiful flowers. That is fact. Grandma has a green thumb. If I were to say that literally, that would mean that my grandmother's thumbs are green. But I'm not meaning it literally. I'm meaning it non-literally. So I'm meaning that she's a good gardener. It's a phrase, green thumb, that you use when someone is good with plants and growing plants. So the type of figurative language that we're going to be focusing on this week are idioms. What's an idiom? An idiom is a well-known phrase that means something different than what the words actually mean. So these are phrases. Famous phrases or well-known phrases in the English language that are usually used in a casual way, in conversation, in a casual story, not a fancy science report. You would see these phrases casually. So tips, often the literal meaning is silly or does not make sense. So it'd be silly to say that my grandma has green thumbs. That just sounds very silly. Why would someone's thumbs be green? So if it sounds like it's too silly to be true, it's probably not literal. It's non-literal. It means something else. Idioms are used as a colorful way to describe or explain something. So let's look at these examples. Here are some idioms that you might have heard before. I'm on the fence. That means I can't decide. I'm on the fence. I can't decide if I want chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream. I can't decide. If I said that literally, I would be sitting on top of a fence. But I'm not meaning it to be factual. I'm meaning it to be a creative way to describe that I can't decide. She's pulling your leg. It's a non-literal phrase that means she is tricking you. So if I did an April Fool's joke, I was pulling my mom's leg. I was tricking her because it was April Fool's Day. That was a piece of cake. And I've used that example before. I think that's one of the easiest examples to use. The test was a piece of cake. That was easy. And let's look at some more examples. So blow a fuse. It actually means to get very angry. Cool as a cucumber. It actually means to be very calm, especially when it's surprising. You are the apple of my eye. I'm not literally meaning that somebody is an apple in my eye. I'm meaning that there's someone I cherish above anything else. A favorite person. Okay. So that is our mini lesson on literal and non-literal meanings. I hope that you've learned a couple things. For example, you could put the definition of idioms from the 5th slide into what you learned. You could also put a couple of examples that you've learned. Maybe you learned a new vocabulary word from your standard. You could put that in the learn column. Anything that you need to take away from this lesson, feel free to put in the L column. Okay, I miss you all so much. I much rather be teaching this lesson to you in the classroom, but I'm thankful that we have this technology to share with one another. Stay tuned for another video, and I hope that you're doing well. Bye.